A very good afternoon to the Larkin Stadium. We are in Johor at the southern tip of Malaysia, AFC Champions League match day 2, Group I in the eastern region. Guangzhou FC from China, third in the Chinese Super League that finished in the very early stage of this season against the Japanese champions and current league leaders, Kawasaki Frontale. Very mixed fortunes for both of these sides on match day number 1. Guangzhou hammered 5-0 by Johor Darul Taksim, a hat-trick there for Bergson de Silva. Kawasaki Frontale delighted to get out late equaliser to share the spoils against Ulsan Hyundai. So Kawasaki will be on a high, Guangzhou will be on a low, as is expected, I think, going into this group. That Guangzhou were expected to be the whipping boys. They have sent a very, very young side, and they're going to be playing in the heat of the 5 o'clock sun. It is very warm, 36 degrees. It feels warmer, 54% humidity. There's a little bit of a breeze just to cool things down, but these will be unique conditions for Guangzhou FC if the challenge wasn't already big enough coming up against the side of the quality of Kawasaki Frontale. Everything stacked against the Chinese powerhouse team. Of course, in the past, when money was very, very easy for Guangzhou to buy players and buy coaches, they also put money into their youth academies. We're now going to see if these youth academies have produced any real stars of the future. They come into this tournament not expecting to pick up points, but certainly to try to get as much experience from their players as they possibly can. As for Kawasaki, well, they have shown exactly what they think of Guangzhou today, because they have made 10 changes from the side that drew against Ulsan on match day 1. All 10 outfield players are brand new to the AFC Champions League. Well, certainly as a starting position. That doesn't mean it's a weak side by any stretch of the imagination. They can call on the likes of Yu Kobayashi, a veteran, the likes of CHN, who's got over 100 appearances, the likes of Yazuto Wakisaka, and especially this man, Chanatip Songkrasim, especially important for viewers in Southeast Asia to get a little view of the Thai Messi, they call him. Magical, whimsical player, wonderful player with the ball at his feet, and was the starter in Thailand's starring performance in the victory in the ASEAN Championships that took place just a couple of miles away over the causeway in Singapore at the tail end of last year. As for Guangzhou, well, they have returned to their more traditional all-red shirts for this match. This is very much a more Guangzhou-looking side. The yellow they played in the first match didn't look like Guangzhou at all, so at least they're looking like Guangzhou. Can they play a little bit better? Can they spring a surprise? Maybe the defensive tactics they showed against Johor, where it was very much a 4-5-1 on display and just lump the ball up to a big guy to try and chase the ball. Perhaps they've learned a little bit more. Perhaps they can be a little bit more compact. Perhaps the heat will help them. For Guangzhou, it's a case of making the most of this opportunity. For many of these lads, they haven't played in the Chinese Super League. A few of them, 4 of the starting lineup, have played in the AFC Champions League in a winless campaign in the 2021 season. So that tries to set the scene. Kawasaki very, very much favourites. Should things go wrong, they've got the likes of Leandro Damião and Marcio Barbosa, 2 Brazilian imports on the bench, and the exciting Taiyo Igarashi, who I'm looking forward to seeing. But they will be hoping, or Coach Toro Aniki will be hoping, that there is no need for that. Match referees come from the Islamic Republic of Iran, Australia, and the 4th official is the Qatari Kamis Al-Mari, who's already had 1 game in charge so far in this AFC Champions League. Just waiting for the official timings. They're sticklers are the AFC organised. It's a beautifully organised tournament, and Johor delighted to have the hosting opportunity using 2 very, very nice venues. This is the Larkin Stadium, as its colloquial name, the Tan Sri Dato Haji Hassan Yunus Stadium to give its formal title. And it's the former home of Johor Darul Taksim until a couple of years ago. Then we moved to the impressive Sultan Iskander Stadium over on the other side of town. But this is still a beautifully well looked after stadium. And it is the venue for match day 2. In fact, for a match on each of the 6 match days in Group I. The strains of the AFC anthem signal the imminent arrival of the 2 sides. Damage limitation will be the focus for Guangzhou FC. Making sure they pick up their first 3 points and maybe getting some goals to boot will be the target for Kawasaki Frontale. This is the AFC Champions League Group I. We are at the Tantri Dato Haji Hassan Yunus Stadium in Johor Bahru. This is Guangzhou FC versus Kawasaki Frontale. Delighted to see Chanatip Songkrasin getting the opportunity in the AFC Champions League. Those of us who follow the Southeast Asian game in particular have been keeping an eye on how the Thai players have managed up in Japan. A few have made their way up there. And Chanatip was signed from the Sapporo side. And this is his first season with Kawasaki Frontale. He's yet to score for them, but he has played in the league on 7 separate occasions. The little number 18. Can play on the left side of a midfield 3 or as the trident in a number 10 position. But wonderful magician with the ball at his feet. As for Guangzhou, well, he's not the only player that they've got to worry about. They played 3 at the back in a very defensive formation against Johor Darul Taksim. And they've made 3 changes of personnel, 1 positional change as well. Up front are the main change of personnel, 81 Su Tian Shi and 82 Huang Kai-zu, who both came on as substitutes, will have a place in the front 3. It looks like a 3-4-3. It actually is a 5-4-1 when they actually get onto the field of play. Head coach Pan Yong-hei has got no doubts just about the limitations of his team. Match referee is Payam Haidari, his first match of this AFC Champions League group. He is from the Islamic Republic of Iran. He has refereed Guangzhou in the AFC Champions League in the past, back in 2019. A far stronger Guangzhou were beaten 1-0 by Samfreche. And in the Persian Gulf League so far this season, 5 matches played, 20 yellow cards handed out and just 1 red card. That's the sole survivor from match day 1, Jung Sung-ryong, the Korean goalkeeper for Kawasaki Frontale. All changed for them, but the names to look out for Tem Miyagi, who had a nice little cameo in the tail end of the 1-1 draw against Ulsan. CHN will be expected to score goals, and Yu Kabayashi. I'm a big fan of Yu Kabayashi. Chanatip will be alongside the likes of Seiko and Matsui, arguably in midfield. I'm not quite sure that that's how they'll line up. We'll just have a little look there. There's so much fluidity in Japanese football. The centre-backs and the midfield are sometimes very, very interchangeable. Definitely, Miyagi will operate down the left-hand side, and Chanatip will try to get forward as much as possible. Kawasaki on the bench, should they require the likes of Leandro, if required, the likes of Marcio Barbosa, who both started in the first match. Respective coaches, that's Pan Yong-hei. Head coach of Guangzhou, not the head coach of the first team, but he's been with these boys through their development periods. And Turo Niki is the head coach on the opposite side. Five o'clock, it is warm, it is sultry. Conditions are difficult if you're not used to playing in them. The humidity certainly takes its toll. The first runs are always there, but then you're gasping for breath from the 5th or 10th minute onwards if you're an amateur like me anyway, and going out and training. We're all just about set to get underway. Guangzhou FC going left to right, get us underway. Immediately a long ball forward. Looks like they're being a little bit more adventurous, and there's a back four is the starting lineup. There's Haley Pan, who scored an own goal in the first match. 73 is Ru Wei. Long ball down the line, two main strikers up front. There's Kurumaya, who scored the late equaliser for Kawasaki. And he just has to do some defensive work there against the bustling, muscular Huang Kaiju. Fan Ru Wei with the throw-in. Kobayashi, Chanatip. First involvement. Renji Matsui starting at left back. Sukagawa. And on the right-hand side is Kazuka. Kazuka, ball over the top. The flag has stayed down. This is CHN. He waits for arrival in the middle of Chanatip, but in the end he pulls it back, looking for Kobayashi. There's Chanatip. Couldn't quite take it down first time. And that's a challenge, and it'll be a bit of a talking to there for Renji Matsui. An early keep it calm from Payam Haidari. No more than that, though. But it is a second foul. Chanatip suddenly found himself with a little bit of time and space there. His first touch wasn't the best. Haley Pan plays it short. It's more of a 4-4-2 today, as Guangzhou being a little bit more adventurous than the match against Johor, when they were well and truly beaten. 5 could easily have been a lot more. Sukagawa out to Kurumaya. Little flick through. Miyagi looks for Chanatip. Chanatip clearly looking to get forward at every single opportunity. That's Pan Yong-hei. Miyagi. Chanatip again. Third time he tried to be involved, and sliding challenge from Fang Yifan. Had to get that timing right, because Chanatip's very often just able to nick it away from him, as he so nearly did there. What do they say to defenders? Stay on your feet. But these are young players from Guangzhou, still learning a lot about the game. 5 blue shirts in the penalty area. Oh, it's got a flick up the near post. That was Seiko, I think, who got the first touch, although it's come off a Guangzhou head secondarily. Seiko didn't quite get there, but he got ahead of Vifan. Second corner. Wakizaka trots over to take it. He's the captain. He'll try to control things from central midfield. 4 in the penalty area. It comes right the way to Yu Kobayashi. Second chance for Yu. Chanatip just a little bit too eager. And although he was clearly looking for the foul, Chen Zhenfeng, that's exactly what he gets as well. Protecting the ball. You can see already that the pitch is cutting up with 6 games in quick succession. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me. Haley Pan. When his own goal came, it comes on the graphic as H-E-L-P, help. And he certainly needed a little bit of assistance there when that ball was played to him by his central defender, Yifan. Offside, carelessly offside by Kawasaki. Kaiju beaten in the air by Kurumaya. Stepping in then was Sukagawa. Chanatip, great vision. And the shot is straight at the goalkeeper from Yu Kobayashi. But I love that from Chanatip. Kobayashi just peeled away to the right. took him back in towards goal. Solid challenge coming in from Seiko. Kazuka with the challenge. Wakizaka. Kazuka once again, Chanatip. He was on his toes, Chanatip. Pinged out wide to Miyagi, who loved to run at Ruiwei. Looks inside for Renji Matsui, who'd gone on the underlap, the fullback. So a third corner in the first 6 minutes of action. The likes of Matsui and Seiko yet to play in the J-League this season. Although Seiko was a regular last season. Again, 6 in the penalty area. And it's poached home comfortably. Goalkeeper came a long way, couldn't get there. And it's CHN who's got the opening goal. And again, from a Guangzhou point of view, it's a soft one to concede. Simple ball, 6 yards out, goalkeeper. Good clear call, but he didn't get there ahead of Chinem. And with players on the post, then coming off the post. Good, clean header, early goal, just what Kawasaki needed. CHN's first goal of the AFC Champions League campaign 2022. Matsui. Wakizaka. A little bit slack from Wakizaka. Sukugawa has to do a little bit of retrieval work. Wakizaka, again the width is provided, looking for Kobayashi. Seiko just trying to help it forward. There's Seiko once again, and Kobayashi does his work. Long ball over the top will run through to Sung Ryong. Will need to have his concentration high. This is the kind of game where Kawasaki will have bags of possession. Goalkeeper won't be called upon, just needs to make sure his concentration is there. Flag is up for offside against Yasuto Wakizaka. So CHN, old-fashioned centre-forwards goal that. It's a routine ball in. He's unmarked, he's got away from his marker. 43, Chen Zhenfeng had man-to-man, and he's just wandered away from him. That is such a cheap goal. Then the goalkeeper comes out and doesn't get there. Accusationary finger-pointing already for Guangzhou. But it is a young side with very little experience. Kazuka spreads it out wide, looks for Miyagi. Pang Ji-hao. Ji-hao leaves it for Yifan, then pushed out wide to Ruiwei. Oh, that's a little bit late, and that's the third foul, and here's a yellow card. Renji Matsui. Don't think he can complain too much about that. He's very, very late on the challenge there on Li Jiahou. Ji-hao beaten to it, runs to Tianxi. Tianxi carries on his run forward. Wakizaka battles. It's nicely played by Tan Shi, and a long-range effort. Actually, it was a Ren Biao. They've certainly shown more enterprise than they did in the early stages against Johor. Then they were literally just happy to sit back. And again, it looks like they're going to adopt that now, very much a 4-5-1. Kurumaya. Encouragement coming from Pan Yong-hee, the Guangzhou coach. Kurumaya, square to Sukagawa. 5 blue shirts ahead of him. Kurumaya again. Miyagi's made a great run, and he's timed it to perfection. Can he keep it alive? The answer is yes from Miyagi. 2-0, CHN. Second goal for CHN made by Miyagi. Again, centre forward, doing what good centre forwards do, getting into this central zone, picking up the cross. 2 goals in 12 minutes for CHN, made by the run from Ten Miyagi. It's a long ball over the top. He is onside, and then just look at how CHN stops his run. 8 yards out. Second goal from almost identical position. 1 header, 1 left-footed volley. 2 goals for Kawasaki. Kazuka. Miscontrol by Kobayashi. Kurumaya. Makizako. Miyagi looks out wide, finds Matsui. Miyagi once again gets away from his defender. Miyagi into the penalty area. That time, Li Pan was able to clutch the ball at his near post. Flag is up for offside against Huang Kaizhou. Matsui. Miyagi. Some close attention to him there from Riwei. Long ball over the top. This is Wakisaka. Oh, into Chanatip. Squared it, and Chanatip. Good save. CHN can't get it in, and blocked on the line. Desperate blocking there from Wang Tianqing. 3 opportunities there for Kawasaki, just ripping Guangzhou apart. The extra man was there. Chanatip was unselfish, and then 1 excellent block. And a second really good block on the line. Yu Kobayashi was the man who was denied right at the very end. Now this is the 4th corner already for Guangzhou. They scored on the last one, 20 CHN. And they've got a chance again, Kurumaya. 3 goals within 15 minutes. And Guangzhou at 6s and 7s, completely unable to cope with the set ball. Just played into a really good position. Kobayashi gets the first header. Kurumaya just dinks it in. Again, wide of the man on the line. Well, that's his second Champions League goal. Kobayashi won the first header. And this is proving to be a disastrous day already. They will have feared the worst, will Guangzhou. There's a Kawasaki man down injured in the Guangzhou half, but Guangzhou playing on through Fan Ruwei. If he looks outside, he's got Ji Hao. Here is Ji Hao, 3 in the penalty area. If the cross should come in, the cross doesn't come in, because CHN has put in a rather blatant foul there. So 3 goals and a yellow card. Quite an eventful opening 16 minutes. Now a free kick to be teased in by Li Jiaho. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red shirts in the penalty area. 2 lurking just outside. Should the second ball become free. Jiaho goes near post. It really is a waste. Still plenty of red shirts forward, and that'll be easy for Sung Ryung. Not even a practice game for Sung Ryung at the moment. Kozuka. Seiko. Well, the idea is to give players a bit of a rest for Kawasaki ahead of a tricky match against Johor. We'll see what Ulsan and Kawasaki really think of Johor Darul Taksim by their team selections. But the fact they've made so many changes for this match against Guangzhou suggests they're taking Johor with a lot more seriousness than they are Guangzhou. Chanatip. Matsui. He did pick up a yellow card earlier. Kurumaya. Sukagawa out wide once again. Kobayashi is operating down the right-hand side, letting CHN operate through the middle a little bit more. And here is Chinen. It's on a hat-trick already, of course. Kozuka finds Miyagi. Miyagi teases it forward, and Chinen misses the hat-trick chance. Miyagi just helps it in, and Chinen once again, he's got away from his marker. On that occasion, Chen Jianfeng was trying desperately to get back, but it's just simple movement, little 3- and 4-yard moves or not moving at all. Keeping an eye on the ball while Guangzhou aren't picking up their men. Kozuka. Kobayashi plays it out wide to Seiko. Kozuka, yeah, there was a foul there, a little block by Yiron Biao. Kurumaya and Sukagawa belatedly decide to jog forward. Mizuto Wakazaka. Just waits for them to get into position. Helped in. It's gone all the way through once again. Again, well, a penalty, I think, has been awarded here. There's a late challenge. It is a late challenge by Jianfeng on the player on the back post. The referee had to think about it, and he has pointed to the spot. It was Seiko who was trying to get there, but the foot was high. Look at the back post. Yeah, he's kicked him as the header has come in. Referees had a good think, and then just to the right of your screen, points to the penalty spot. Again, it's a set play that is a good ball. It's an awkward ball played in, but Guangzhou have just had no way to deal with it. And Yu Kobayashi will step up and potentially make it 4-0. Kobayashi, good save, but Kobayashi buries the rebound. Tough for Haley Pan, but 21 minutes on the clock. And it's Guangzhou 0, Kawasaki Frontale 4. Yu Kobayashi with his first goal of this current campaign in all competitions. It's a high foot. It's difficult to argue with the referee's decision against Chen Zhenfeng. He didn't yellow card Zhenfeng. Good save from Hay, but he had no help. LP. Well, it now is a matter of whether or not Kawasaki really want to rub this in, or whether or not they're happy with the points. Only the top team in the groups go forward into the next stage. It's 14 groups. There are 5 Eastern region groups. The top 3 second places in those go through. But that's being complicated as well by the withdrawal of a Chinese team, so not all matches in the group count. And it'll be the matches against the 4th place team that won't count. So racking up a cricket score or a big score doesn't really make that much of a difference in the groups, because it won't really count towards goal difference. Nonetheless, it helps towards confidence. Feng Yifan tries to play his way out of trouble. That's nicely done from Guangzhou. Chanatip, free kick by Chanatip, a little bit aggressive on Li Jiaho. Seiko's header. Long range shot out. You are never in a million years going to beat Jung Seung-rong from that distance, even if you catch it beautifully. Good challenge from Tianxi. Chanatip. Chanatip again. He'll be aware that there's an audience for this game in Southeast Asia. And although it's a mainly Thai audience, people from Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, all wanting Chanatip to do well, just to prove that Southeast Asian players can play on the big stage. Seiko just beaten into it by Tianqing. Well, the ball was dead for a long time there. It's Guangzhou who come away with it, but Chanatip helps it back to Koki Sukagawa. Matsui, very much a right-footed midfielder, but he's played it into Miyagi, who's very much a left-footed winger. And Miyagi, that time it's good defending from Li Jiaho. He's got back and he's protected the ball. Just made sure there was no way there for Miyagi to get through, and it's good defensive work. They'll take the little crumbs of comfort, will Guangzhou. Miyagi with the second quick foul, that time on Fan Ruwei, the right back. pretty sure the message to Guangzhou before the start of the game was keep it as tight as you can. Let's try and frustrate Kawasaki. 25 minutes in, you're 4-0 down. And you haven't even been as physical as you were against Johor. Only 2 fouls by Guangzhou. CHN not liking the fact that Kazuka didn't play the early ball. Matsui. Akizaka once again onto Seiko. Sorry, Kobayashi. This is Seiko. Kobayashi. 3 in the penalty area, one of whom is Chinen. Another is Miyagi. Matsui. Keeping the ball really, really very nicely. Kobayashi, left-footed cross. Looking for Chinen, who's chasing his hat-trick. Important little flick from Peng Ji-hao. Just stretches, gets enough on it, directs it away for a 6th corner of this first stanza. It's gone a little bit cooler. The sun's gone in, there's a bit of cloud cover, so it's not quite as difficult for the players. Chen Jianfeng is the man who's getting a talking to. It's all very crowded. Kuromaya is in there. Chinen lurking on the edge of the penalty area. Kobayashi on the goal line as well. 3 very, very close to goalkeeper Li Pan. Guangzhou clear. Chanatip, good strength, wins it back. Wakizaka. 3 blue shirts in the penalty area. But it's sliced clear nervously by Wang Tianqing. He's left-footed. It took a little bit of a slight divot for Wang Tianqing. Very, very relieved to see that one go wide of the post and not curl into the back of the net. But it's a 7th corner of this first 28 minutes for Kawasaki. That one comfortably picked up after Sukagawa got the header in. And Li Pan was looking for the quick release. In some ways, you've got to feel for these Guangzhou boys. It's not their fault that they're in this situation, as Kobayashi is denied by the goalkeeper. After Tianqing had again made a nervous mess of a clearance. Now Chanatip picks it up. Tianqing that time recovers well. Well, it's 4, it could be 7 or 8 already. Tianqing gives it away. Kobayashi, Chinen and Miyagi available. Then a miscommunication by Guangzhou defensively. Chanatip, always happy just to retain possession. Sukagawa into Wakisaga. Little dink, a give and go, but Chinen and Kobayashi on a different wavelength. This is just a long ball, and again, the defender, that's pretty routine. Goalkeeper's done well to get close to Ryu Kobayashi. Nicely turned out of trouble there by Yang Sin. Determined challenge by Seiko. Chinen. Miyagi. Might fancy a run. Comes back onto his right foot, looks for Chanatip. Again, there's blue shirts available. Comes out to Matsui. Patient build-up. Matsui makes the late run, but the straight pass very difficult, just to get a bit of backspin on it. But that was the intention. Nice little idea as it dinked forward by Kazuki Kazuka. Now referee will call for a drinks break, and it's almost a mercy break for Guangzhou. 4-0 down inside 21 minutes. Referee Pam Haderi has dished out 1 yellow card to Renji Matsui, but it's been a torrid time for Haley Pan, and that's with him making a couple of half-decent saves as well. Guangzhou not being able to deal with the aerial prowess of CHN. He scored twice, 1 header, 1 volley. They conceded a penalty from another free kick from out wide, which Kobayashi had saved initially, but he was first to react to score from the follow-up. And the now obligatory goal from Shintaro Kurumaya. Happy to take the liquids on, and these boys in particular will be happy to take the liquids on. They just won't have come across this kind of quality, even in their training. Two goalkeepers have had very differing afternoons. I can only think of a couple of occasions when Jung Seung Rung has actually touched the ball, whereas HELP, from an English language perspective, they are unfortunate letters to have on the back of a goalkeeper's shirt. In days of old, Guangzhou versus Kawasaki would have been a blockbuster tie. Seiko looked a little bit physical there, referee happy. Chanatip. He's got real strength there to hold off Yang Sin. He's deceptively strong. Loves to be on the ball. Chanatip's on Krasin. Sweeps it out left, but only finds the left back, who's helped out by Rumbiao. Sukagawa. Kisaka breaks for him once again. Long ball over the top. This is a chance for Kaiju to try and run into the corner, but it's played wide when he was looking for a central ball. Possessional stats. It was something like 80-20 when Guangzhou played Johor. These will be very, very similar when the official stats come out at half-time. Chanatip. Kazuka once again. He's seen plenty of the ball. Matsui. Miyagi. Clearance, though, inevitably picked up by a blue shirt. Kobayashi. Thought of the shot, finds Chinen. Goes the long way around. And that's well defended by Feng Yifan, who didn't like the challenge from Chinen. He was just trying to come around the blind side of the centre-back. It's quite clever, and then the defender, yeah, he really didn't like that challenge, did he? $10 minutes to half-time. as a match, this game is already over. It all depends now on the attitude of Kawasaki. Guangzhou will continue to give their best. Just their best at this level is a long way short of the required standard. Kozuka. Wakizaka. It's up to the players to generate the energy, but they know they've got a match in 3 days' time. It's a ruthless schedule. 6 matches every 3 days. No wonder the Kawasaki team are taking the opportunity to rest as many of their squad as they can. 10 changes to the starting lineup for this match. Miyagi was one of them. Lovely ball into Chanatip, drives it across. Kobayashi was offside anyway. But again, it's lovely one-touch football from Kawasaki. Driven in, Chanatip and Kobayashi. Well, it's arguable that he was offside. Kazuka's pass picked out by Ji Hao. Now then, chance for a long ball over the top for the other Jia Hao. There's a pen gonna lead Jia Hao. And leaving a little bit there, Jia Hao, on the back of Matsui. Might have been a little bit of payback there, because Matsui has given a couple of clobberings out to Lee Jia Hao. Nothing too sinister, just a little bit late. Seiko, Chinen, volley from Wakizaka. Guangzhou ran into a little bit of trouble after the straight red card to Guan Haojin in the game against Johor. He is not going to take any further part in this competition. He played in the middle of the back three. I understand he's been sent home. Guangzhou management very unimpressed by the over-intimidating way in which he got the red card for a wild kick on Bergson de Silva. Kobayashi. Kazuka slides it inside, beautifully done. Flag stays down off the post. Kobayashi again, a little bit unfortunate. This is Chinem onto Chanatip. And slid in off the other post, and that time the rebound is put in by Yu Kobayashi for 5-0. Kobayashi's second had been denied by the post literally 20 seconds earlier. And then when Miyagi hit the post, that's lovely. He's unlucky. Guangzhou don't clear their lines. It breaks to Miyagi, he hits the post, and Kobayashi off the shin for his second, and 5-0.
Goal for Kawasaki Frontale by player number 11, Yu Kobayashi.
Bit of fortune in the way it breaks to Miyagi. Bit of fortune in the way it breaks to Kobayashi as well, but he'll take it. Thank you very much. Miyagi. It's almost like Kawasaki. They've just got that little bit of extra running, that bit of extra movement, and you feel that they could score a goal if they just chose to. And that's what Kobayashi did there. Wakizaka completely bossing midfield. Having just hit the post, Miyagi slides one, keeper can't get there, and Kobayashi breaks kindly off the post to him. Chanatip wins the loose ball. Loose cross though from Chanatip, easily for Haley Pan. How did Guangzhou just stem the flow? Zhengfang. Just keep possession for a little while. If possible, Yang Xin. Onto Ru Wei. Good pace there from Jia Ho. But Kurumaya easily dispossesses Jia Ho. And Kazuka, who's always situated just in front of his two centre-backs, mops up once again. JPN, who scored the first 2 goals, has been looking for a hat-trick ever since. Now Kobayashi's looking for a hat-trick as well. We're just going to have to check the record books and look at Kawasaki's record wins. They don't have a great record in the AFC Champions League, Kawasaki. For a team who've been so successful with 4 championships in 5 years and top of the pile once again this year. They've only got 3 AFC Champions League quarterfinals to show for their, well, this is their 10th season. Guangzhou 0, Kawasaki 5. Just got to keep encouraging for Pan Yonghei. A little shove in the back from Kurumaya. Alert assistant referee just saw it. It wasn't so much Matsui as Kurumaya, just 2 hands in the base of the back of Wang Kaiju. Guangzhou send up Yang Xin, they send up the centre-backs. A little bit of height, try and compete for the first ball. It's all to go back further and further and further back. And eventually it'll be Yi and Bao, who's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red shirts to aim for. Kobayashi was the man who got there first. And then runs giving the ball away. Kazuka, what an important challenge that was by Tianxi. He's given away a free kick. But if he didn't make that interception, that would have been a 2-on-1 breakaway for Kawasaki. Looked like he got the ball. No yellow card. Kazuka. Kurumaya, who's also won 2 goals for this AFC Champions League. Kurumaya been with the club since 2014, 8 seasons now. There's a lot of stalwarts in this Kawasaki Frontale lineup. JPN, he's over 100 appearances as well. Looking for Wakizawa, and Ili Pan gratefully falls on the ball as he lost it in flight. It's an awkward one. Oof, he got a right hand, lucky he didn't kick it back into his own net. Matsui. Kazuka always finds himself in acres of space just to start the move, which is normally Wakizaka to the right or Chanatip to the left. If it's not on, start again. Angled ball, Miyagi onside. Looks back for Chanatip. Desperate for a goal, isn't he? And then slid into JPN for the hat-trick. Ooh, he's put it wide. Under intense pressure, JPN. Just 2 minutes to add on at the end of the first half. Flag again stays down. Nobody tracking the run-up. Miyagi just timing it right. Chanatip, 1, 2, 3 attempts to bring it down, and then it is a pass. JPN cuts inside his man and scoops it wide.
There will be 2 minutes of added time. 2 minutes of added time.
But if it was a goalless draw, you'd look at CHN and say, oh, that's a bad miss. But because it's 5-0, it's pretty academic. Although I'm sure he'd like the hat-trick. I'm sure Guangzhou would like the half-time whistle. Kurumaya. Hack clear anywhere will do for Pang Ji-hao. Confidence absolutely draining from the Guangzhou players. Again, they've worked hard. You can't take that away from them. But now 10 goals conceded in just 135 minutes of football. That's nicely played by Tian Qing. Then given away, because Kawasaki just have the experience to park their players in the right position. And the player in the right position has scored on 5 separate occasions so far. CHN scoring twice in the 7th and 12th minute, a header to set things underway, and then a left-footed volley after a good setup by Miyagi. Kurumaya was then on hand to score before Kobayashi had a penalty save before he put in the rebound, and then he scored after Miyagi's shot came back off the post for his second. It's been a tough day at the office for Haley Pan. He's made a couple of really, really good saves, and he is congratulated by his fellow goalkeepers in the Guangzhou FC side. But at half-time, it is threatening to become a big, big embarrassing defeat. It's Guangzhou FC 0, Kawasaki Frontale 5. Very warm welcome back to our coverage of the AFC Champions League. It's Group I, match day 2 of 6. Guangzhou FC from China 0, Kawasaki Frontale 5. That is the chastening half-time score for the team who came third in the Chinese Super League. There is a tale behind that, in that this is very much a youth team that have been sent out to represent Guangzhou in the AFC Champions League. Financial problems, financial restrictions, the loss perhaps of a key sponsor as well mean that they've really had to go into the youth ranks to try and pick up players, but even so, they are still representing Guangzhou, and 0-5 at half-time, even against a side as good as Kawasaki, does not bode well for the second half. Does not bode well for the rest of the tournament. A couple of changes from either side. Guangzhou will be coming on, a forward. And Chen Kun, who came on as a substitute in the first game, and they are coming on for Huang Kaizhu. Huang Kaizhu will be replaced by Guangzhou. That's a direct replacement, like for like up front. And the second substitution, I believe, is 73 out, which is Fan Ru-wei, the right back, who had a really tough time against Miyagi. And Chen Kun comes in at right back again, a position that he adopted in the first game when he came on as a substitute. Kawasaki also made a couple of changes. Tayo Igarashi, who I've been looking forward to seeing, he has come on the right side up front, number 28, and Shuto Tanabe has come on at left back, and there is Tanabe involved straight away. On to Chanatip. So with those changes, now as soon as the ball goes out of play, I'll try to give you a run in as the ball is played in by Wakizaka. Might break to Tanabe over on the far side, and he whips in an effort that fires over the top. Actually, it was Miyagi coming in over on the far side. He's got those stockings very, very long. Guangzhou, playing with fire, playing out from the back like that. But it's brave. You've got to be brave, and to be fair to them, they've done it pretty well. Wang Qing down the line, and the flag is up for offside, but that is a lovely, lovely set of play, and it gets applause from the Kawasaki fans in the stadium, a couple of hundred away to my right-hand side in the commentary box, but that was very brave and in the end very effective. Here's Chanatip. Seiko. Well, let's see if they're brave enough to play out short from the back again. Kawasaki were very, very quick to close them down. Kobayashi central, Igarashi down the right, and Miyagi down the left. And they do indeed go short. Ji Hao. And again, they've done well and got themselves a free kick. I know it's part of the modern games, crept in over the last 4 or 5 seasons. You really have got to have the players to do that, and particularly if you're being pressed, you cannot afford a mistake. But to their credit, Beijing have played out from the back like that now twice in the early stage of the second half. Nothing to lose, I assume. That would be the thinking behind it. Seiko. Kazuka, who's seen plenty of the ball in central midfield, onto Kurumaya. This is Tanabe. Sukagawa. Can play in central midfield. Sukagawa, as he was trying to pick a pass just to prove that. Guangzhou, though, through Yang Xin, just give it straight back to Seiko. Chanatip. Sukagawa. Seiko. Well, while they're just playing a little bit of keep ball, we'll talk about the Kawasaki lineup, although immediately they go from keep ball into just trying to dink the ball around. Hoisted clear. Igarashi wins the ball back and then loses it. Wang Qing under pressure from Igarashi concedes the throw-in. So Kawasaki, Jung Sung-rong in goal. A back four of Seiko, Sukagawa, Kurumaya, and Tanabe, who's come on as a substitute. Wakizaka, Kazuka and Chanatip in midfield. Igarashi, Kobayashi and Miyagi are the front three. Here is Kurumaya, the number 7. Chanatip. Now to Kazuka. Chanatip likes that diagonal. It hasn't really come off for him so far. Give possession away to better teams and it can come back and really hurt you. Kurumaya over the top. Flag stays down and it's slid home for number 6. And it's 10 Miyagi. He's made that run and kept himself onside on 3 or 4 occasions. He's set up 1 goal. He's hit the post on another occasion. Now he slides home, goal number 6. Look at that, he just makes the move. Yeah, the number 58, Peng Ji-hao, is holding on. The first touch is good and he's got the strength to hold off a challenge from behind and the presence of mind just to slide it under the goalkeeper. Through the legs, and that's number 6 for Miyagi. Li Pan frustrated. But this hammering really is not down to the goalkeeper. Second goal in all competitions of the season for Ten Miyagi. Here's Igarashi. Kawasaki have given the likes of Zhao Schmidt, Akihiro Yanega, the complete day off for today, not even on the substitutes bench. That's how confident they were that they would see off Guangzhou, and I think a 6-0 scoreline tells you that it was a decent decision. Kobayashi the target. Chanatip. Can't get it under control. Kazuka looks out for Miyagi. Tanabe outside of him. Miyagi looks up for Kobayashi. Didn't get a touch, and the goalkeeper did well to keep his eye on the ball. So easy to anticipate a little flick through there. Ji-hao. Now to Tianqing. Looks long for Guo. This is the Guangzhou 11. Haley Pan in goal, a back 4. Of Chen Kun, the number 67, on as a substitute. Feng Yufan, Peng Ji-hao and Tianqing. I'll break off just a moment because Tanabe has got himself free on the left-hand side. And Chanatip, as always, available. Kazuka. That's for the rest of Guangzhou. They've got a midfield 3 of Yang Xin, Chen Jianfeng and 81 Su Tianxi. Forward-ish players of Ye Ryunbiao down the left-hand side, number 99 and 41, Li Jiaho. And Guo Shui, the number 75, leading the line. It varies between a 5-4-1 and a 4-1-4-1 and a 4-5-1. But it's always just the one man up front, which has made life rather easy defensively for Kawasaki. Taiyo Igarashi looks for the give and go, doesn't quite come off. Won back by Wakizaka. Wakizaka again. Just having to accelerate, Koki Sukagawa. Chanatip. Wakizaka loses out, but Kurumaya backs him up. Here's Seiko. Into the feet of Yu Kobayashi. Onto Chanatip, Son Klasin. Kobayashi, who's chasing a hat-trick. He goes down under a challenge. Referee right there, not interested in the penalty. And it breaks nicely for Ryunbiao. He's only got players to his left, though, and immediately runs into Kobayashi, who's got back defending. Igarashi. Heard plenty about this young fella, Igarashi. Keen to see if the hype is worth it. They've got so many good players. He's only on as a substitute for a second string side. Miyagi loses out to Yang Sin. AFC Champions League, Group I, all the matches being played in Johor as we have a look at this penalty appeal for Yoi Kobayashi. Well, there is a tangling of legs. The Iranian referee, Payam Haidari, not interested. He has given one penalty, handed out one yellow card. Both decisions absolutely correct. Not been the most difficult of days for the referee from the Islamic Republic of Iran. Miyagi looks for Chanatip. Good defending. Got to give praise to the Guangzhou FC boys. Boys they are. Oldest is 23. Very, very little actual experience, certainly not at this level. But you can see the spirit is still there, if not the quality. They can't pick up the runs because they've never faced them before. Miyagi pulls it back, looks for Kobayashi. Standing in the way, though, was Su Tianxi. Ni Jiaho it is who's holding his right knee. Ten Miyagi looking innocent. It was Tanabe, just a little knee on knee. Shuto Tanabe. Well, they were criticised for their overly aggressive approach in the match against Johor. They've definitely not been over-aggressive here. Barely 4 fouls in best part of an hour. Make that 5. Little tug back there by the skipper, Yang Sin. Kota Takai preparing to come on, another young Kawasaki player, just to get a little bit of AFC Champions League experience. The match is won. Seiko, Kobayashi. Guoshui can't get there, and the change will be made, and Kota Takai will come on, and could well be taking the central midfield place of Wakizaka, who's bossed things in midfield. Whether or not he actually plays centre mid, I'm not quite sure. I suspect he might just drop into a central defensive position. Indeed, that's what he does. And number 3, Sukagawa, steps forward into central midfield. And Sukagawa wants to get involved immediately, trying to make a forward run. Kazuka. Young player making his AFC Champions League debut. There's Seiko, out wide. Igarashi. Pinged in by Seiko, and look at the gap there between the 2 central defenders. That is dangerous. Chen Kun it was covering in at right back. The huge, huge gaps left by Guangzhou. They just need to be collectively tighter. Sukagawa. Chanatip. Sukagawa in that central midfield role he does prefer. Miyagi, Tanabe, Miyagi, Kazuka. Training ground stuff for Kawasaki at the moment as Chanatip just accelerates to maintain possession. Takai leaves it to Chanatip. Sukagawa was short, instead Kazuka. Kurumaya. Igarashi eventually gets the block. Scramble clear. It's going to come straight back at Guangzhou. This is going to be a long final 31 minutes. as that runs through to the goalkeeper. There's the scramble, anywhere will do, from Chen Zhengfeng. Rumbiao gets there first, but Igarashi takes the second ball off him. Kozuka. Chanatip available down the right. Seiko also here. Into Kobayashi. Chanatip, lovely release to Igarashi. Igarashi just bangs it in. Rumbiao under pressure from Seiko, and does well to win the free kick. Rumbiao got himself between the ball and the challenge. Constant barking of instructions coming out from Pan Yong-hei. Got to go backwards, that's nearly short. Li Pan bashes it forward. First bit of work for Takai. And the first touch of this second half for Sung Ryong. Guangzhou preparing Shadia to come on. Chanatip, clever. Igorashi's cross doesn't beat the front man. So just the one goal in the second stanza so far. Igarashi has another chance to run. This time goes to the byline. Stays on his feet. Seiko hoists it up. Easily dealt with by Feng Yifan. Straight though to Kurumaya. You suspect Kawasaki are playing barely at half pace. Chanatip. Seiko. Switch of play to Nabe. It is almost a 1-4-5 formation. One defender, four midfielders, five strung out across the front. Igarashi. Seiko, Igarashi onto his left foot. Couldn't get it clear. Guangzhou defending grimly and deeply. And eased off the ball by Sukugawa. Kurumaya. Little give and go on the edge of the penalty area. Chanatip pulls it back. Only to a red shirt of Ji Hao. They just can't hold on to the ball for anything more than 2 or 3 seconds. It says a lot about the pressing. Sukugawa, Igarashi, Sukugawa might fancy the shot. Sukugawa pulls it back and it's off the post from Kobayashi. Denied the hat-trick. And Guangzhou players are looking very, very fatigued at the moment. 2 or 3 of them on their haunches, almost pleading with the coach to take him on, take him off. And there are going to be a couple of substitutions as we look at the latest attempt to come off the post. 3 times they've hit the woodwork now today. And one of the changes is going to be Ye Rumbiao, who comes off to be replaced by Sada. Now, referee not allowing any water to be given out to the players as we look at the changes. Li Jiaho is coming off. He's going to be replaced by Ye Guochen, who for the second game comes on as a substitute. So 4 of the permitted 5 changes already made by Guangzhou.
Pertukaran pasukan Guangzhou FC dari China menguatkan pemain
6-0 it remains. And Kawasaki generously give the ball back. You suspect they would, even if it was a tight 0-0.
Substitution for Guangzhou FC, play number 99.
Haley Pan, little flick on, nicely played. CHN will chase. Can he hold the ball up? The answer is yes. Well played against the defender, Takai, but then given away. Good strong challenge coming in from Koki Sukagawa. And he leaves Tian Shi feeling the effects of a strong challenge. That's a hip check, isn't it? He's dropping down, nothing that Sukagawa does wrong there. Tian Shi came on as a substitute in the first game. It's been a busy presence. Again, you've got to praise the work ethic that we've seen from the Chinese boys, but they are just absolutely outclassed. This time Guangzhou give the ball back. Goals from CHN in the 7th and 12th minutes. Kurumaya on 15, Kobayashi on 21 and 39, and Miyagi on 50. Give us the 6-0 scoreline, top left of your screen, AFC Champions League Group I. Later on tonight, Ulsan versus Johor Darul Taksim from the Stadium Sultan Iskandar on the other side of Johor. Johor hosting all of the matches in this group. Here's Chanatip, driving forward. Kobayashi, played out to Miyagi. For once, couldn't get across him, Miyagi. He's set up 2 and scored 1 himself. Was just trying to direct that back to Chanatip, who was unmarked in the middle of the 6-yard box. Unmarked, unattended, it just ghosted in there. Yeah, Seiko through the back there of Guo Shui. Chinese captain Yang Xin having a word with the referee to saying that was a little bit of intent in that one. Well, he's very, very late. He isn't naturally a defender, Seiko. Tatsuki Seiko. He's normally a midfielder, as I think you could tell from that challenge. Kawasaki preparing to bring on Dayatono. Guangzhou getting the ball away first. Guo Shui's done well. It's a decent challenge coming in. Wang Qing, oh, is it off the hand? Referee is right there. He says no, the arms were in a natural position, certainly no raised arms. And on the breakaway, look at this now. Kurumaya, Chanatip. Chanatip again. Twinkle toes from Chanatip. Is he going to go all the way? The answer is yes. Chanatip, Song Krasin, a little bit of magic from the Taiziko. Time Nessie, I should say. Show my age. Chanatip makes it 7. Best goal of the game. 69th minute. Just weaved his way from 40 yards out, straight through the heart of the Guangzhou FC defense, and then cuts it back across the goalkeeper. And Li Pan has no chance. Mesmerizing with the ball at his feet. and so quick to change direction. Both centre-backs taken out of play. That's the goal of the game from Chanatip Songkrasin. Tono has come on for Yu Kobayashi for the fourth change for Kawasaki. Chanatip, he will have enjoyed that. No doubt it'll be on the AFC goals highlights reel. Arguably, could be the goal of the round so far. It's a little bit special, no matter the opposition. Tanabe bundles his way through 3 challenges. You fear for Guangzhou, they've got another 4 matches to play after this, and there is no respite, there's no rest. They've got Ulsan next, who are a big, strong, powerful side. Ulsan back-to-back games. Then they've got Johor again, who've already put 5 on them. And they finish against Kawasaki 7-0 at the moment. Sukigawa and Takai on the penalty spot. It comes to Takai, comes over Takai. Miyagi helps it over, and goal number 8 is tapped in by Kurumaya. Kurumaya's second. They just have not been able to deal with any kind of a set piece. Just helped in by Miyagi. Little flick on, and the man who's got the captain's armband, Kurumaya, the number 7, playing at centre-back. 3 goals already in this tournament. 2 of them poached from corners from a second ball. And the pressure carries on. Good save, might break once again. And the goalkeeper a little bit fortunate. It was Tono who got the shot away. A little bit of fortune, but he's deserved his fortune as Haley Pan. Such hammerings in the group stage of AFC Champions League are rare. It's 8 at the moment. And Kawasaki look like they are looking for it. That is a record victory for them. Help forward. Again, the Guangzhou boys will bravely try to keep going. Shadir on the ball for the very first time. Flag stays down from Igarashi. Guoshui, sorry, helps it clear. He's moved to a left side midfield position to just try and add a little bit of height, and that's really well played by Chanatip. As Guangzhou prepared to make their fifth and final change. Chu Mengam, he comes on. And Yang Sin, who's worked really hard in midfield. Again, the effort of the Guangzhou boys, you can't fault them. They are just not good enough to play at this level. And the question is it fair for Guangzhou to put them into this situation?
Substitution for Guangzhou AFC from China, will play number 66, Yang Xin. Replace will play number 72, Chu Menghan.
Another set play, again causes problems. And now we're going to have the drinks break. 15 minutes before time, it's a ball whipped in by Tono. Well, Miyagi scored the first goal of this second stanza, and he's been a constant threat down the left-hand side. Chanatip then scored goal number 7, arguably the goal of the group. Definitely the goal of the group, arguably the goal of the AFC Champions League match day 2. And then the third was put in by Kurumaya for his second goal of the night and his third goal in the AFC Champions League this season. Kawasaki, who qualified as champions of the J-League for the 4th time in 5 years. They are an outstanding side who have not been able to translate that into results of this kind in the AFC Champions League. Never got beyond the quarterfinals. Haley Pan hoisted high into the cooling Johor evening. A little bit of cloud cover. It was stifling hot at kickoff at 5 o'clock. It's cooled down. Sung Ryong gets a rare touch of the football. Hoisted forward. Good defending there from Feng Yifan. And Jian Feng is caught in possession. Well, Shui wins the second ball. Igarashi involved in a bit of a scrap there with Tan Chiang, and he comes away with the ball. That's well done against 3 red shirts. Strong enough to come away with it. Sukagawa carries on the move. Sukagawa again. Into Chanatip. Ooh. Ruthlessly taken out. Sadia got there as quick as it could, ref. Just trying to see if a yellow card came out. No is the answer. Chanatip does so well to get his body between the tackler and the ball. Again, Sadia will not have come across players able to do that, with the awareness to do that. Kazuki Kazuka is standing over the ball. Looks like he fancies a 30-yard special. Probably 28 yards out. And Kazuka, ooh, it's not too far over. Goalkeeper gave him that side to shoot at, so he went for it. Ball played round the outside. Oh, the flag is up for offside. Chasing a goal. Kawasaki Frontale's record victory in the AFC Champions League is 8-0 against United City of Philippines. They also beat Beijing Guan by 7 goals to 0 this stage last year. Very, very similar. Guangzhou. Well, this is their worst ever defeat at the AFC Champions League. Prior to this, it was a 5-0 against Cerezo Osaka last season. But this is not the Guangzhou of wealth. Not the Guangzhou that became AFC champions for a couple of times. Chanatip. 10 minutes to play. Oh. Tsukagawa just getting his geography all wrong there. He played as a centre-back for the first hour. Looked like he was making a clearance there as he wandered into a central striking position. Now he's putting pressure on. Diving header. Jing Sung Rong just reminding us he's on the pitch. Long ball over the top. Coolly played out by Ji Hao. Feng Fan plays down the line, and Kurumaya, who's on a hat-trick, of course, as is Kobayashi, but Kobayashi's off the field. Keichinen's off the field. Kurumaya couldn't get a hat-trick, could he? Sure, his striker's the way. Chanatip. Seiko and Chanatip. Again, I've got to praise the Guangzhou boys for their work ethic. They haven't given it up. The scoreline is, of course, massively against them. It's boys versus men. But where does this leave Chinese football? Chanatip angled it over the top, and once again it was Tsukagawa. He's taken a very central role, Tsukagawa. He really fancies getting on the score sheet as Chanatip tried to play him in. Sadir wanted it short. Haley Pan says, no, let's get it as far away from my goal as possible. Let's try and avoid a record 9th going in against us. Sadir. An attempt by Tu Mengan to play the ball into space. Again, constant barking of instructions from Pan Yong-hei. Seiko. Igarashi. Igarashi normally goes on his right foot, this time on his left. Again, Tsukagawa was the central man. As that's a long ball aimed at Yigon Guochen. Final change. And it's going to be the change that sees Ten Miyagi, who scored a goal early in the second half, had a couple of assists in the first half. Also had an important part in the 1-1 draw against Ulsan on match day 1, which might still be the significant result of this group. And the man who comes on is central midfielder Kento Takibananda Panada. Which means Tsukagawa is definitely going to stay up front. We can only hope that the economic problems that are impacting Chinese football at the moment are short-lived, and what happened in the last year and this year of effectively ghost or shadow squads being sent by the top Chinese teams into the AFC Champions League are a temporary blip. Because the Chinese clubs, with the players they introduced, the Hulks and the Elkersons and the Oscars and Chinese internationals, they really were a major asset to this competition. Taki Bernarda outside to Tono. Gratefully collected by Haley Pan. Nice clean strike. Goalkeeper gave away a shocking goal in the game against Johor, but he's had no chance on really any of the goals, possibly the sixth, possibly when he was nutmegged by Miyagi. But he was trying to spread his body. But he's worked hard. He'll have a hot bath and he'll sleep well tonight, young Haley Pan. Seiko. Second chance for Seiko. Kozuka. Again, just swamped by red shirts. Kozuka. Igarashi. Tono. Igarashi trying to get it onto his left foot, which he does prefer. Real scrum, but the ball comes out effectively to Yi Guo-chen. It's 5 touches of the ball, I count now for Jung Seung-rung. He'll go down as a clean sheet. He'll have that on his records. He has had more difficult games. Igarashi slides it in. Well defended. Fang Yifan. Igarashi wins it back. Sukagawa. Taki Bernarda. Sukagawa. He's determined, isn't he? He is determined. He wants a bit of the action. And he's come away with the ball, Sukagawa. Finds Tono. Chanatip. 9 red shirts behind the ball, desperately trying to just stem the goals against. Chanatip couldn't keep it in play. I really do fear for them, though. They've got Ulsan twice. They already looked fatigued. They're under pressure in terms of discipline. Final couple of minutes. Seiko keeps it alive. Igarashi turns inside 2. Sukagawa. I really rather enjoyed his efforts to get involved on the score sheet, Sukagawa. We might have seen the start and end of a career of him as centre forward today. Chanatip looking for it down the line. Kozuka. Tanabe. Taki Bernada. I do think Kawasaki are chasing a ninth, but then a foul throw, which in any level is pretty dreadful to actually record, but at AFC Champions League level, particularly dreadful. 3 minutes added on at the end of the match.
There will be 2 minutes of added time, 3 minutes of added time.
A gentle stroll for Kawasaki. Chanatip scored one and looks to set up another. You can tell by my giggles, the man who was denied at the last moment was Koki Sukagawa. It's different, playing up front to defending. Kota Takai looks to attack the ball. Sukagawa on the edge of the penalty area. Kurumaya, who's on a hat-trick, of course. It's come to Kurumaya. A little push by the centre-back. And you suspect that that will be that. Top scorer in the group. Top scorer for his team with 3. That's unexpected. Great servant of Kawasaki Frontale and a key member of the team have been so successful domestically. And we're also having a chance to see 1 or 2 of the next generation coming through. There's Taki Bernada, an aggressive type of a midfielder. He's one who's made his breakthrough this season. How many of these Guangzhou lads, though, how many of them will make the grade? Free kick to be taken by Chen Jianfeng. Takai's header. Help back in. Sungrong thinks of coming out, and Taki Bernada will concede a corner. First corner of the game for Guangzhou comes in the 93rd minute. Is there a consolation to ruin the clean sheet of Jung Seung-rong? Chanatip is then taken out, and that will be a yellow card right at the very end. Could well be the last kick of the game. Got there as early as he possibly could, did Su Tianxi. Referee decides enough is enough. Kawasaki Frontale have taken this one by 8-0, and it was a stroll from as soon as CHN headed them in front on 7 minutes and then volleyed a second within 12 minutes. This game was as good as over. Kurumaya poking in. Chanatip scoring the goal of the game in the 69th minute, running past 4 defenders and angling a shot across the goalkeeper. Final goal poked in by Kurumaya to give us a final score of 5-0 half-time, 3 second-half goals. They also hit the post on 3 separate occasions. This was as comfortable as the scoreline suggests. Indeed, had Haley Pan not been in really athletic form, this could well have been double digits and a record score for Kawasaki Frontale. Instead, it just equals their record AFC Champions League victory. It is as comfortable as it gets at this level of football. The J-League champions Kawasaki Frontale have beaten Guangzhou FC by a huge 8 goals to 0.